A year ago, I was actually in the narrative medicine program at Columbia, and I lasted a full month. Some people fall in love with human beings, and I fell in love with an island where 85% of the population is thought to have Lyme disease. And I left New York for this island, so this is my story, and got the disease along with everyone. My spine hurts. My right ankle hurts. Sometimes I'm moody, tired, angry, rude, annoying, and annoyed. Sometimes I eat a lot of sugar, and sometimes I see ghosts, and sometimes my right pinky toe stings. My nails are painted yellow. I get thirsty in the night. Sometimes my heart races, and on full moons I tend to cry, want sex, and overeat. According to my math and the breadth of my understanding of spiral syphilis-behaving bacteria, and the presence of some collection of antibodies, all of the above could be a result of, symptomatic of, or indicative and causal and products of Lyme disease. Lyme disease is an expensive disease, approximately $1,000 to $2,000 per infection, and that's for the test alone after insurance. Everyone and their mother has it here, where I live, on an island that shuts its boats down for storms. You don't have to roll in a field or milk a cow or shoot a pig between the eyes. You don't need to be knee-deep in tall grasses while skinning and defeathering a once-alive chicken in order to catch this disease. No. The ticks, it seems, that are the cause, which can be debated because who knows how the world turns and why diseases reappear in the dead of winter unless the bed is lined with ticks because the doctor said new infection, and let's check your antibodies, and since you already took a lot of amoxicillin this month, you're just going to have your cake, eat it too, and avoid chicken killers, high grasses, and those that slaughter swine for the time being. Yes, Lyme is alive and well in your blood, my blood, our blood, this island's blood. This is the Lyme colony, and we shut in here and are slowed down to a pulp, to a slow ooze thanks to swollen knees and encephalitis of the knuckles and palpitation of the heart. Lethargy, paleness, a lack of inertia, or a proclivity to spin towards the bed. This is the disease we speak of. Bee sting therapy may or may not help. Long-term memory loss is an option. Like I said, we can't know for sure if stubbing one's toes regularly is a symptom of this disorder. If you like pink foods or small babies, or if you're interested in climbing trees or running for president, it might be this disease. If you find yourself being cruel or yelling out or writing rants about everyone you grew up with on Facebook, gaining weight, beating strangers, again, Lyme disease can be to blame. They discovered mine in New Orleans, where I was holed up in bed with swollen knees. No walking, no looking for houses, no buying property or beignets. Instead, I was shipped back to the colony, to the island, to slow down with my contemporaries and bear the mark of an island circled by its own band of witches and fog, gods and ghosts. Yes, they took me in on a boat and taped me to a bed and said, drink of the evil elixir called doxycycline, which, like the slaughterers, goes into the throat and then takes over and destroys the belly. If Lyme caused you pain, the war in your large intestines between the right of bacteria to live and the right to die, this might destroy you. Todd Rogers heard last night that I have Lyme. We were sitting on a couch in the local community center, and his eyes were dark and beady, and he said I should be really careful. This was after I asked why he wasn't drinking, and he said it was because he had Lyme and for 8 months was on a cocktail of drugs. He spoke in a horror movie level of his own experience, the 28 pills a day he took, including 2 kinds of antibiotics, the fish oil, the vitamin D, and the diet shifts. You need, he told me, to be scared. You need, he told me, to go to the hospital Monday morning and ask for the IGNX test, and then you need to go to the local Lyme center, find out what strand you have, and address it. This is very serious, he said. I tried to tell him what I did know, or what I was doing, but there was no room for my narrative. This was about his horrifying experience, not mine, despite his desperate attempt to warn me. He didn't know about my 2 Western blot tests, or about the antibiotics research I did, or why I wasn't on doxycycline, and how I chose the alternative antibiotic after extensive research. He didn't know I met poor Chisa Kakpour over the weekend, and he also didn't know I was already filled with fear. What he also didn't know was that I was already consulting someone who had the herbal remedy of the gods, an expensive and total system flush on hand. He didn't know about my consultation, or my probiotics, or my current Whole30 cleanse, or about the fact I was taking 2 magnesium pills, 3 potent multivitamins, and 3 vitamin C supplements a day to keep myself afloat. Todd's verbal invasion, coupled with an absurd question asking if I had picked up this strand of Lyme when I was in Uganda, was one of the many boundary crossings that Lyme has afforded me. It has invited fear and advice into my life, and also chemicals. This is my third treatment of antibiotics since May. I eschewed Western medicine before that, healed my depression and my titanium-bolted spine through diet shifts and non-invasive chiropractors, through spiritual and financial guidance. I hit a wall, though, when Lyme, which I apparently had had for years, had reappeared in my life. My right hand aches. I decided I can feel them hatching in my veins. Last night, Nova, who's pregnant, told me about her mother and the bee sting therapy she uses for her aching muscles. 50 stings a day. Every other day she's stung, by bees to activate her cortisol. My head hurts. I feel flutters in my chest and I'm having throbbing in my neck. Is it because I'm paranoid, or is it Lyme? Is it the spirochetes, or is it because I'm Jewish waiting for my eradication? Today at the cafe, a Jewish woman didn't believe me when I said there was more white supremacy and anti-Semitism here than anywhere else I have ever lived. Oh, it's everywhere. You just weren't paying attention, she said. It was a lot of energy. Maybe that was it. Maybe her incredulous speculation at the possibility of being unwelcome where she lives. Maybe that, up against my insistence, stirred the sleeping entities in my blood. Maybe she ghost whispered to the dead in my veins and the living, and now in my own home I am gasping for Lyme breath. Is it the water that stopped running? Is it the lack of exercise or spring on the horizon? Or is it the woman who said I need more education after my 2 master's degrees to move forward in my career? My wrists still hurt. I still have heart palpitations and a headache. The nor'easter has destroyed the water system in my house. It comes on and off at its own whim. I am on an island. I am surrounded by water on all sides. There is water boiling in my kitchen. My veins, said John F. Kennedy in an interview, are filled with salt. I am, he said once, of the same makeup of the sea. What it would take to lie down and whisper with the spirochetes. What would they tell me? To remove a limb? To write a book? To become a lesbian? Would they ask me if I was crazy, or maybe confess to me that they themselves were overtaking my mind? Am I a colonized entity? And is it the pills or is it the tick? Which one is the colonizer and which is the colonized? Am I a medical subject all over again? Yes, I am, and only there is no narrative now, and there is no witness, and I have no disease. I mean Lyme, I mean I have Rocky Mountain spotted fever, I mean Lyme brain is a thing. Where thoughts are staccato and memories are void, I do forget things. I don't handle my freelance load as well as I used to, where everything returned in my head in due time. I don't trust me as much. I worry about cancer and heart attacks and insanity, about being evil or wrong. I have a therapist and a doctor and a healer and a chiropractor and a team of rabbis, and I'm still afraid because I am not with myself. I am looking to them instead of me for answers, because I feel at the whim of the Lyme, in me, an unknown I cannot conquer. There are things living in my thighs, in my belly, in my neck and mouth and collarbone, and according to my cousin, my headaches this week are the result of the spirochetes dying. It causes pain, apparently, when the colonizers die. Now what? Sometimes at random, I call out for my mother. I live in a house alone in the woods that belongs to her, and in the silence, the eerie pre-storm silence, I can almost not stand to be with myself, itching, desperate to leap out of my own skin.